Yo, what's good everyone? Today we're doing something different. I went on Roblox and tested a bunch of motorcycle games to see which ones are actually worth playing, and which ones are straight up terrible. I'm gonna be ranking the top 5 Roblox motorcycle games, from the worst to the best. Some of these surprised me, some of them were actually pretty fun, and one of them honestly looks almost like a real motorcycle game. So if you like bikes, wheelies, and chaotic Roblox physics, make sure you watch until the end because the number 1 game is actually insane for a Roblox game. Alright, let's start with number 5, and trust me, this one was painful. Coming in at number 5 we have Bike Life Miami 2. I'm gonna be honest, this game is not it. The first thing I noticed is the controls are really bad. The bike feels super hard to control, and half the time it feels like the motorcycle is just sliding everywhere instead of actually riding properly. Like bro, I tried doing simple turns and the bike just starts wobbling like crazy. It almost feels like the physics are fighting against you. The graphics are also pretty outdated. Everything looks kind of basic and unfinished, and compared to other Roblox bike games it just doesn't look very good. Another problem is that the game is way harder than it should be, but not in a fun way. It's hard because the controls are awkward, not because the gameplay is challenging. Wheelies are also super inconsistent. Sometimes the bike pops up randomly, other times it just refuses to do anything. Overall the idea of the game is cool, but the execution just isn't there. If the developers improved the controls, physics, and graphics, this game could actually be much better. But right now, it definitely sits at number 5. Next up at number 4 we have Bike World. Now this game is a bit better, but it still has some pretty annoying problems. First thing, the graphics are just okay. They're not terrible, but they also don't really stand out. Everything looks kind of simple and basic. But the biggest problem I found is that the game feels unnecessarily complicated. For example, there are skills that are supposed to be activated with the T key, but half the time the keybind doesn't even work properly. I was pressing it and literally nothing was happening, which makes the whole feature feel broken. Another issue is the wheelie system. In a motorcycle game, wheelies are supposed to feel smooth and satisfying, but here they feel kind of clunky and awkward. Sometimes the bike lifts too fast, sometimes it doesn't lift at all, and it just doesn't feel very polished. Also the menus and mechanics can feel confusing for new players. Instead of being simple and fun, the game sometimes feels like you're trying to figure out controls instead of just riding. It's not a terrible game, but it definitely needs more polishing and fixes. That's why Bike World takes the number 4 spot. Now we're getting into the actually decent games. At number 3 we have Urban Moto. This one surprised me a little bit. The first thing I noticed is the motorcycle physics are actually pretty good. The bikes feel much smoother compared to the previous games. Wheelies in this game are really fun to do. They feel much more natural and controllable, which already makes the experience better. The map also feels nice to ride around in. It has that urban city vibe, which fits perfectly with motorcycle gameplay. Now the graphics are not amazing, but they're still pretty decent for a Roblox game. Nothing crazy, but definitely good enough. Another cool thing is that the bikes feel responsive, meaning when you turn or accelerate the game actually reacts quickly. The only thing holding it back from being higher on the list is that it still lacks some advanced features and the visuals could definitely be improved. But overall, this game is actually fun to ride in, and that already makes it much better than the first 2. That's why Urban Moto takes the number 3 spot. Now at number 2 we have Motorcycle Mayhem. This game is honestly really good. The graphics look great, the bikes are detailed, and the environments feel much more alive compared to the other games. The controls are also really smooth, which makes riding the bikes feel satisfying. Wheelies work well, the bikes accelerate nicely, and overall the game just feels polished. Another thing I like is the variety of motorcycles and features. You can try different bikes, ride around different areas, and just enjoy the gameplay without constantly fighting the controls. The physics are also pretty solid, which makes racing or just cruising around feel much better. But the only reason this game isn't number 1 is because it's missing a bit of realism. The riding still feels a little bit like an arcade game instead of a realistic motorcycle simulator. If they added more realistic physics and mechanics, this could easily be the best Roblox motorcycle game. But even with that, it's still an awesome game. So Motorcycle Mayhem takes the number 2 spot. And finally, number 1 is Project Corsa. This game is honestly insane for Roblox. The first thing you notice immediately is the graphics. They look extremely realistic compared to most Roblox games. The bikes are detailed, the environments look great, and overall the game just has a much more serious simulator vibe. What makes it even cooler is that the idea comes from Assetto Corsa, which is a very popular PC racing simulator known for its realism. And you can actually feel that inspiration here. The features in this game are amazing. The motorcycles feel more realistic, the riding feels smoother, and overall the game just feels much more advanced. It's the closest thing to a real motorcycle simulator on Roblox that I've seen. The only thing that bothered me a little bit is that the brakes don't always feel perfect. Sometimes it feels like they're not responding exactly how you expect. But honestly, that's a small issue compared to everything else the game does right. Because of the graphics, realism, and features, Project Corsa easily takes the number 1 spot on this list. So yeah, those were the top 5 Roblox motorcycle games ranked from worst to best. Some of these were honestly pretty rough, but others were actually really fun to play. If you guys want, I can also test more Roblox motorcycle games in another video and see if there are any hidden gems we missed. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment which Roblox bike game I should try next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.